Hello and welcome to Star Wars Destiny of the Force, a Star Wars tabletop RPG campaign that we'll be playing here live on Twitch and also recorded and uploaded to YouTube afterward. So yeah, this is session 1, so if you're tuning in now, you're here at the very beginning. But yeah, in the future, if you miss any of the live sessions, you'll be able to go on YouTube or on to Twitch's video section and be able to listen back on previous episodes. But yeah, my name is Matt, also known as Galvanitro, and I am going to be the GM of this game. This game uses the FFG Star Wars RPG system, Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, Force and Destiny, just with some, well, obviously we're using them all together, and we're also taking out a few parts here and there to make it a more narrative game, a more kind of story experience, but all of the core gameplay is present. We just don't use some of the mechanics like obligation and duty and stuff like that. So yeah. This campaign is set in the Legends continuity. That's the preferred Star Wars timeline for our group. However, we all have bits and pieces here and there we like of Disney's canon and Disney's timeline, so you will see elements of those crop up in here from time to time, little bits that we're choosing to introduce into the Legends timeline, be it characters or concepts or what have you. But everything will still ultimately be Legends canon. That being said, our goal here is to tell a story. I will be describing everything in detail as if you've never experienced it, so you do not need to know anything about Legends. Really, all you need to know is the original 6 George Lucas Star Wars movies, and you're really in good shape. Yeah, so this is set 80 years after A New Hope, 35 years after the book Crucible, which was the last novel written for the Legends timeline. And in this galaxy state, it is the kind of the age of peace in the galaxy. The Jedi Queen, Allana Solo, along with the help of Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, saved the galaxy from the Dark Goddess Abeloth, and has kind of ushered in this new time of heroes. And as time has passed, nearly 20 years since both the Jedi Queen and Grandmaster Skywalker disappeared, a new generation of Jedi has begun to emerge amongst the new Jedi Order, and that is where our story will begin. So, as we go into our start here, we're following a group of young Jedi students, not yet Jedi Knights, who have been kind of learning together, growing off of each other. They have a few allies who are not Jedi, but for the most part, this is a group of Jedi students. The children of Ben Skywalker, son of Luke Skywalker, Sol and Talia. They're Jedi, fellow Jedi in training, and also cousin Sidani Dejo. Their Mandalorian friend who's trying to learn from the Jedi, Kara Sordo. The Melito, trying to find his own destiny, Castan Burin. And kind of a mentor who is kind of looking and overseeing them, Merrick Cole, who is a Mary Allen. And they are assisted by a pair of allied friends, Venata Kaur, who is the princess of the Hapes Consortium and sister to Sidani, and R2D2, the classic droid friend who has been passed along the Skywalker line down to Sol and Talia to help them in their adventures. As we start today, we are going to the world of Tatooine, where our heroic trainees have off the record been pursuing some black market pirates who have captured a Jedi shipment that was meant to go to Ossus, the capital of the New Jedi Order. They found out about it and decided to take it upon themselves to find the shipment so that the younger Jedi students could continue getting their supplies needed. As they started their adventures on Tatooine, they managed to find the black market pirates, but not before the pirates had already sold the Jedi shipment. They weren't willing to say who their shipment is, or who they sold the shipment to. Apologies. But the trainees were attempted to be persuasive, only to find the pirates fleeing the situation rather quickly. As our group of Jedi trainees chased after them, they came to a docking point among the sands of Tatooine, where it was clear that there was meant to be transport out of this small town, and that they found themselves in. And as the boss of the pirates and a few of his trusted lieutenants got on a skiff to escape, leaving most of the other pirates stuck there, Jedi, kind of the leader of the group, Sol, Merrick, and R2D2, managed to steal another skiff nearby to chase after them, while the remainder of the group tries to capture the remaining pirates. So as we're fading into this beginning here, we see out over the sands of Tatooine the loud hum of a skiff repulsor as Sol Skywalker is at the helm, attempting to catch up to the black market pirate boss and his men on a skiff not too far ahead, with Merrick and R2 right behind him. Sol, how about you? Introduce yourself and what is your plan of action?
Okay. Sol Skywalker is son to Ben Skywalker and Vistara Kai and brother to Talia Skywalker. He sort of favors his mother and grandfather in looks more so than his father, other than what his father, Ben, sort of took from his dad. So he's got the blondish, brownish hair. He's, I think, the oldest in the group at 20, or at least close to the oldest.
Outside of Merrick.
Outside of Merrick. Of the young ones. No one's as old as Merrick. And I think that probably just going to Sol will probably try to catch up and do like a pit maneuver if he can just sort of nick their back corner of their skiff to try and get them sideways.
Okay.
Cass is 21.
Oh, sorry. That went twice.
It's okay. No worries.
So what will be the difficulty to try to do that?
That will... be... Let's see. And so you're trying to... You said pit maneuver him, so you're trying to spin him around, basically? Try to...
Yeah, I'm basically just going to try to catch up enough to nudge, like, the back corner of their skiff.
Okay. So, alright, then, yeah, make a, 2 difficulty, 2 setback, planetary piloting check. Alright. So...
I'll use the white as an advantage to try to make where I could get good contacts with it.
Okay. So you hear the hum of the engine grow louder as the skiff begins to catch up to the pirates, and as you described, the skiff gets up right along close, and you're able to just nudge the back maneuvering wings to begin to get their skiff to spin. You can tell that the pirate, one of the lieutenants of the boss, is clearly panicking as you do this, and is trying to overcorrect the steering very heavily. And so you see the skiff turn to such a degree that it rams into the front of yours, and you're basically moving as a T forward.
At this point, Sol turned to Merrick, like, all right, it's up to you now.
Okay. So yeah, Miracle is a wise and aged veteran of the previous war, and now he just finds himself, he's a little old, he's a little tired, but he still wants to look out for this next generation of Jedi. He doesn't use the Force. He is a ranger, and yeah, he's just kind of like a mentor and guardian for the younger generation. Likes to tell them off occasionally, but will always have their back. And in actual fact, he's about to do something that he would absolutely tell Sol off for if he tried it. Merrick has an ascension gun attached to his blaster pistol. I'd like to try and hook it on the other pirate ship and use it to leap myself over there.
All right. Standard difficulty for that tool.
I feel like I definitely need that destiny point.
You may use it.
Well, no, I mean, it's not a difficult roll. I'm thinking of all the ways this can go wrong.
Well, guess you didn't need it. All right. So yeah, you fire the pistol into the skiff, basically clamping it onto one of the handrails on the side, and are able to launch yourself over there. This has sent the pilot into just a full panic, and you could tell desperately trying to unhook the skiffs from each other and get away. But so you just see the steering controls being moved every which way as the boss and the other lieutenant seems to be obviously coming toward you with blasters.
Sol just sort of says to himself, I meant just yell at them to pull over. And then yells for Uncle, be like, Uncle, can you come help hold the skiff steady? As his co-pilot just jumped to the other ship.
Yeah, so R2D2, the white and blue astromech droids, rolls up, and little little claw-like arms come out of his front, and he basically grabs the skiff controls and holds them still, but that's about the best he can do, is keep you moving forward as you basically cross the wasteland desert of Tatooine. And yeah, so, and is Sol going to move to the other skiff as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Considering his partner just threw himself over there, then
Yeah. All right, then. So yeah, you vault over the front rail of the skiff and begin moving that away. As you do that, we will cut now over to the rest of the group, who is currently all hiding behind some cover, some moisture evaporators that are laying on a transport sled, as blasters are ringing out from the remaining pirates who were stranded there by their boss. There are 8 of the pirates. And yeah, so this is where we find Talia, Costum, Karas, Sedani, and Venata. So yeah, we will begin with the one most familiar with Tatooine, Karas. What does the Mandalorian think about doing in this situation? And introduce yourself.
I'm Preston, and I'm also Kanos, and he is a slightly above average height human Mandalorian. Wears a very deep purple set of armor. And when he's not wearing his helmet, he has a very short kind of mohawk that's been dyed deep blue. And he's working and learning with this Jedi because he believes, as a Jedi have sort of a friends to enemies and back and forth relationship with the Mandalorians over the years, that by learning and fighting alongside of them, he can become a better Mandalorian. And as for what he's going to do, who is closest among the allies? Venata.
You're all next to each other.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bodyguard Venata.
Okay.
And see, are the pirates within short range, or are they at?
4 are at short range, 4 are at medium range, and they all have taken cover as well. Smaller land speeders or kind of just general kind of vendor stalls and the like.
All right. Well, we're trying to take him alive, so he's going to try to use the stun setting on his blaster to take out one of them close by.
All right. So yeah, they are in pairs basically. So there's 4 pairs of them, 2 on short, so 2 pairs each at short range, 2 pairs at medium. All right, and yep, so you're aiming at one of them. So yeah, that'll be short difficulty, no defenses, so just the 1 difficulty die. And don't forget to roll in Destiny as well.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Okay, using the incidental from the blaster sight to aim.
Sounds good. Ooh.
So that's 9 stun damage, I believe.
All
Yep.
right. So yeah, that hits both pirates at short range. You shoot one, and he in his kind of stunned, dazed moment, but still firing his blaster, he kind of spins around and shoots the other one, who kind of falls backward in a slump.
Yes, the second time we've made somebody shoot their own friend.
All right. With those advantages and triumph.
Well, the triumph was taking out the second one, but you have the advantages.
Okay. All right. Could I say with those advantages, it creates a like them just falling around, creates a path for if someone on our side wants to move up, they have a little bit more cover.
Yes.
All right, we'll do that. And can I take 2 strain to move with Venata if she decides to move up? Just take.
Yeah, you can commit that as a maneuver. Yes.
Okay.
All right. And yeah, so next would be the keen-eyed huntress Fedani.
All right. Sidhani is one of the warrior witches of Dathomir, red hair, sister of Venata. So they are twin, but so they look fairly similar, although not identical. And for this, she is going to try to sneak around the flank, come up behind them.
Okay. 2 difficulty stealth check. Nice. Okay, you will now be considered to be at short range of all 3 remaining pairs, and they do not know where you are.
All right. So, like the predatory beast of Dathomir, she'll disappear into the shadows during the firefight, and we'll come up behind them, blast at the ready.
Okay. And then next we'll have Custom.
Okay, so sorry. My name is Jonathan. I'm playing Caston Baron, which is a Melito, but which is an insect-like race. He's about 6 foot tall, no face or eyes. Mostly, it's just a carapace type covering. Sees through special Scylla on his arm. I kind of want to go in the shadows too, but I think I'll just. Oh, of course. I think I'll just go for shooting. I'll double aim and just shoot.
Short range or medium range?
Oh, that's a fair point. Short.
Okay. Then yeah. So normal difficulties, no defenses.
Short is just 1 purple, right?
Correct. But if you're firing a second weapon, that would.
Which I am, because I like to make horrible decisions.
Yeah, that'll increase it by 1.
That does technically allow me to hit because I have paired weapons.
Nice. All right. How much do you do?
That would be 10 with the first weapon and 9 with the second.
All right. That you just kind of roll out of your cover position, firing firing both blasters, and one blaster on one pirate and one blaster on the other, and they just can't withstand it. One falls into the land speeder that he was hiding behind, the other just kind of crumples down.
Damn it! My first thought was he blows out the smoke off the barrels, but he doesn't have a mouth.
And then next we have Talia.
I'm Jessica, and I'm playing Talia Skywalker. She actually takes after more of her grandmother, Mara Jade's looks. She has red hair, fairly tall. She's sort of become one of the de facto healers of the group and is learning not to run headfirst into angry Wookiees that will down her quite instantly. Oh, we are really rolling dark side today. That's not good.
There we go.
So, in light of that, I think I will try and also move up to where Sidani ended up and get more into range.
Will you be trying to do stealthily or just following?
I'll just quick draw my lightsaber and just follow.
Okay. So you don't see where she goes exactly due to her being the stealthy witch that she is, but you are able to, as you said, draw your lightsaber, activate it, and move around. What color is your saber?
It is light green, which I believe is also her brother's.
Yeah, his is more emerald, so darker than yours.
But yeah, as you move around the transport sled that you all were initially hiding behind, you definitely seem to be drawing a lot of the pirates' attention with the big glowing blade.
Yep.
And yeah, you do move in, so you're at short range of the two remaining groups. But both remaining groups are definitely staring right at you, and trying to fire at you. But most of the shots thus far are missing.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I'll hold my actions, because I don't want to run into that. But I'll probably yell out, you know you can surrender, right?
Well, you can make a charm check if you so desire.
Yes.
Okay.
No, which I'm section.
That'll be 2 difficulty and 1 setback.
2 purple, 1 black?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't take orders from Jedi! They continue firing their blasters in your direction.
Understandable.
I will, if you wish, you can gain one range defense. Or you already have 4, don't you?
I do.
Then we'll add a setback to their next check. Against you, at least.
Okay.
As while maybe you didn't convince them to surrender, you did still say it with such confidence that they are maybe regretting their life choices at the moment.
Good, they should.
Lastly, amongst the hero group, that leaves Venata Core, who is a kind of a companion NPC to the group. She, as already mentioned a few times, is twin to Sani. She has kind of more of a brown hair than red, and definitely takes a little more after the Hapen look. Very kind of well kept looking. Very clearly has had a lifetime of princess care. Much like her sister, she's 18, and in an effort to not stand out too horribly, is currently wearing kind of a simple sort of beige jacket over kind of simply covering purple top, and kind of a sort of a dark gray pants and boots. And she is staying close to Kadas, who did use a bodyguard maneuver on her, but also is considered to be kind of amongst the group, kind of considered to be her bodyguard. And yeah, she will pull out the blaster pistol she's been kind of learning to use thanks to Kadas and Castum, and she will try to cover her sister and Talia as they're moving up. And yeah, she'll fire out. All right, and she hits one of them and takes him down. The remaining three kind of get closer together to each other to kind of cover each other as they're trying to figure out, how do we get out of this situation where we're clearly outnumbered. But as they're doing that, we'll go back to the skiff action on the waist, and Merrick, you're being fired at by the boss of these pirates.
I would like to quickly take cover behind anything. I mean, is there like some crates on the skiff I can hide behind?
Yeah. So
Just duck into there.
that'll add 1 to your defenses.
Nice.
So
Okay, yeah. I have 2 defense.
Okay.
One from the crate and one from my jacket.
All right. Anything else for difficulty?
Nope.
All right.
Don't have none of those fancy Jedi maneuvers.
All right. So he raises his blaster pistol and fires out at you, and that will be 8 wounds.
All right.
So, for audiences less familiar with the system, while he was hit with 8 wounds, he has soak that reduces it down to 3. So he only actually takes 3. All right. And yeah, so and the lieutenant to this guy will be trying to fire at Sol before he can reach the skiff.
Yep, so I don't have my saber out yet, so it'll be 1 black, and I will upgrade it once by dodging once.
Okay. Unfortunately, manages to hit you for 9 wounds. Sol came into this already injured from their previous adventures leading into this. So he is having a bit of a rougher time.
It's the mark of an adventurer.
All right. So, yep. So, Sol, it's to you now. What are you doing?
As he rolled to dodge that and sort of takes some hits, he sort of collapses, and then he's just gonna quickly pull out his blaster and try and stun him.
Okay. So you would basically be at the point where the T is formed on the two skiffs at this moment. So that's kind of where you're at, is where the two skiffs are sort of stuck together.
So what's the distance from the lieutenant?
That would be short range.
Okay, so I don't have to move it. What's his defenses?
For the lieutenant or the one who was shooting at you?
Yep.
Okay, that'll be 1 defense.
And I can aim as an incidental. So 11 strain damage, pierce 2.
Well, that guy's yep, you hit him and he kind of falls onto the rail, kind of hits his head on the rail and sort of slumps down, kind of just barely still on the skiff and not kind of sliding off because of being caught on the rail.
And I'll use 1 advantage to recover that dodge strain, and I'll give a boost to Merrick, and I just sort of point out like that the lieutenant's down so he can just focus on the others.
All right. Merrick?
Merrick will quickly draw the array gun from his back. The one that he's waited a very long time to use. But he's not going to use it just yet. He's going to confidently stand up from behind his crates, and he's going to yell at everyone, "If you don't want to end up like your friend there, drop your weapons and surrender now!"
All right. Let's see. That'll be 1 red, 2 difficulty, 2 black. Okay. On coercion.
We get a boost.
Yeah, you get a boost. So.
Okay, 1 whole boost. Okay.
All right.
The whole boost gave you an advantage.
I'll fire my shotgun into the air if that helps.
Yeah. The one who's piloting the skiff clearly is surrendering that lieutenant, but the boss is still firing at you, trying to take cover amongst kind of the same crates you were.
They always got to do things the hard way, Merrick.
Well, I feel less bad about shooting them now.
Okay, so R2 will now make a check to continue piloting the skiff.
His soul get bounced around.
Yeah, actually, I need to roll 1 more setback. Apologies. Yeah, you definitely are feeling the rattling of the skiffs because the other pilot just surrendered, so he stopped trying to do anything, and R2 had been compensating the whole time for the other skiff moving, and that sudden stoppage sent R2's controls a little off. So at this point, the 2 skiffs are kind of vibrating against each other. The surrendering lieutenant is desperately trying to cut the engines off so as to kind of stop the skiff you're on, but the boss isn't letting him do that, kind of firing in his direction to let him know that ain't happening. And R2 is just trying to make sure that you don't fall off.
Soul starts to like sort of shake, try to regain balance while holding his pistol out, just so it turns like uncle.
It's the little arm sticking out of the front of his torso, trying very hard to hold on to the skiff levers. Okay, so the boss will now fire on Merrick once more. You'll still have cover due to the positionings. And that'll be 11 wounds as he's firing out at you. Very unhappy. He had to move out of cover to really get a good shot on you though, so that'll be what the threat represents. So you won't have any when you're on your turn.
All right.
All right, so it's Sol's turn now, and Sol, you're hearing R2 kind of start screaming out a little bit, and the lieutenant on the other skiff suddenly seems to start freaking out as well.
Okay, how far away is the boss from where I'm standing on the T junction?
It would take one maneuver for you to get up onto the skiff, and then one maneuver to get over to him. So basically, okay. Medium range from where you are right now. If you just shoot.
All right, I'll use the maneuver to get on. Quick draw my lightsaber, and I'm gonna hawkback swoop as I sort of do a front flip over toward the off the T junction toward the bosses.
So basically, run up the side of the skiff, do a flip off of the handrail, pretty much.
Yeah. And so what's his melee defense?
1.
I'll take 2 strain to aim.
The Force does not agree with that action.
Nope. Let's see. I'm going to take 4 strain to reroll with my once per session Padawan thing. What's it called? Something to prove.
Ah, okay.
So it's a reroll, but I get the 4 strain back if it succeeds.
All right.
What a thematically appropriate ability.
Yeah. There you go.
I need that 4 strain back. Alright, so 7, 8, 9. I had accurate, so I didn't actually need to. I forgot. Alright, so 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it'll be 10, and then I have an advantage, so I'll use my as I'm swinging, I use the overcharge, so you see the green blades start to hum as it sort of charges up even more, so it'll be 11 breach.
Okay, so yeah, you just do your flip and slash and end with kind of straight kind of down through his chest, and he kind of falls backward, still alive and trying to be conscious, but clearly hurting a lot, and trying to kind of refocus and re-aim his blaster as he kind of hits the handrail opposite to you and tries to regather himself. Merrick, it's your turn as R2 continues to yell out, and the Lieutenant, the still conscious one, is seems to be desperately pulling at the controls, trying to move the skiff.
Okay. Well, Sol seems like he has this, so I guess I'm going to rush over to the controls and say, like, "What's wrong, man? Speak up."
You just say, kind of point upward and yell, like, kind of out as you see kind of in front of you your stuck together skiffs, which currently have no real turning ability due to the way the repulsors on both sides are operating. You're kind of moving at a very slight angle, but still forward. You are heading right toward a fairly large rock formation, kind of pointing out in the desert. And
Oh dear.
he's trying to, and you can tell R2 is trying to do the same, but R2 doesn't have enough control to really turn anything. So this guy is trying to, but because R2's side isn't really able to do much, there isn't. You're stuck.
Okay, I am not a very good pilot at all. So I am going to tell the guy to jump off of the skiff onto the sands of Tatooine, and we'll pick him up later.
Due to your previous coercion check, he will listen to you and kind of run and kind of fall off the side, trying to do so smoothly, but without much grace.
Can he knock his unconscious body off and hit the sand as well?
He cares too much about his own life to care about that other guy.
Fair enough.
He kind of just
I mean,
runs and
he's not
jumps
going
off.
anywhere, is he?
Yeah, the other guy's just kind of holding on unconsciously.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna give it a go. What's the like? The worst thing that can happen is that we crash into the rock, which is what's already happening. So
Yeah. All right, so that'll be 1 red, 2 difficulty, 2 setback.
do I use that last destiny point? Nope. Let's go without it. Merrick's just going to yank the controls all the way over to one side and hope for the best.
Doing so causes the skiff to start to the wings and maneuvering thrusters of the repulsors begin to actually make the skiff tilt upward, and the other skiff kind of move up slightly with it as you're trying to turn it so sharply now that it's kind of leaning upward, and so both Sol and the boss would start falling, basically falling in the direction that the skiff is tilting. So Sol, you would be falling backward, and the boss would be kind of falling into you. And the last guy, who's kind of just hanging on, is still just hanging on, but doesn't have anything but the bar that his body is kind of half slumped over to really do so anymore. Yeah, on R2's end, well, he's able to keep you from flipping over, at least. That's about all. He's able to keep your original skiff staying straight and level.
As we're sliding, can I attempt to grab onto something and do a harder check to grab the boss so I can catch him from falling too?
Well, before you go, it's the boss's turn. So, He actually, as he's kind of sliding, is going to take a blaster shot at you at short range.
So it'll be 3 black and 1 upgrade.
Okay, so you're dodging again. All right.
Yep.
I will add an additional black due to the sliding, and still manages to hit. Man, this guy's a good shot. 10 wounds.
Okay. Since my saber style, as I was like going to like try to catch him, I see him pull the blaster out. I just instinctively put the saber between us and block all the shots.
Well, it's 10. It's 10.
I have 5
Yeah.
soak and reflect 5.
Okay. Yep, so you're blocking all the shots with the saber. All right. Okay. And then, all right, now it's your turn.
I'm assuming it's tilted enough. He's still coming
Yep.
forward.
Yep. You guys would basically be next to each other at this point if you try to grab onto something.
Okay.
Because since you
I'll
were
go-
more in the middle, it would have taken you longer to start
Yeah.
sliding.
As we're sliding, instead of grabbing his hand, I'm gonna try to grab his blaster, so he has to either hold onto the blaster or fall, instead of him to like prevent, so he can't just prevent me from like shooting
Okay.
me while I'm trying to save his life.
All right, 2 difficulty, 1 setback athletics check.
So 2 advantages. I'm a fail anyway, so I'll just make 3 advantages.
I was gonna say you might as well. Well, you fail to really secure yourself or him, but you are able to pull the blaster from his hand.
Oops.
So yeah, you're basically holding his blaster by the barrel. He no longer has a blaster, and both of you are sliding down and basically hitting the railing. As you kind of hit the railing, you on one side is the boss who's now trying to grab at you, and on the other side is the unconscious guy you shot earlier.
Scene.
All right, and Merrick.
I'm thinking cut our losses at this point. So I'm trying to think of a way to get everyone off of this skiff. I'll detach the ascension gun cable and then just leap into the sand. So, I'm going to tell Sol, deal with his guy however he likes. I'm going to grab the unconscious guy and just chuck him off and leap after him.
Okay. So, yeah, all right, then, make a, 1 red, 1 difficulty, 2 setback coordination check.
Before I leap, I'm going to say I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit.
Oh dear. Yep. So yeah, you throw the unconscious guy. You basically come up next to him and Sol. You grab the unconscious guy away from Sol and throw him off the side, and then try to slide through the railings and jump down after him. But as you do, you kind of catch yourself on the railing, and let's see here. That will be fall, a short range fall, so that'll be 10 wounds and 9 strain, both minus your soak.
I find it funny that I got hurt more by the desert than I did most other things.
Well, it's an
To be
impact.
fair, yeah, it wasn't the desert that hurt you. It was gravity.
Yeah, so as you fell, you didn't really get a good clump of sand, and you kind of just hit one of the smaller rocks, and kind of it's just an immediate stop as you see the skiffs continue to move toward the large rocks. R2 kind of just yells out at this point because now there's no one at the controls of the other skiff as he's trying to do something here. So he will attempt to keep things level. Whoa.
Well, if the cable is gone from the holding the skiffs together, he can just veer
Yeah.
away, right?
Well, no, the front of R2's skiff is still lodged into the side of the other one. So he couldn't get them from your cable was just kind of holding them together additionally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Sounds like R2-D2's problem.
So R2 is successfully kind of again still able to keep his skiff stable, but he isn't able to kind of see out because of the skiff now kind of tilted in front of him. He isn't really able to see out anymore. He has to use just his sensors, and so isn't able to tell that there are kind of smaller rocks that are going to start affecting the skiff's ability to kind of stay level, and as it does, it's kind of jostling the other skiff around, and R2 basically slides away, trying to use his arms to grab onto the controls in camp, but basically slides to the side and basically falls off the side of his skiff. And Sol, your whole kind of world around you starts spinning as his skiff and the two skiffs basically start into just a full out of control spin as both skiffs are trying to go their direction at this point. And yeah, so it's just you and the boss on the spinning, kind of almost oval spinning set of speeders. The rocks getting ever closer.
Sol's just gonna look at him like, you can trust me or die. It's up to you.
Ah!
And Sol will sort of reach out. He'll drop the pistol that he's holding onto and just let it go wherever it does, and just sort of reach his hand out to him.
He reluctantly puts a hand out toward your arm.
Okay. Sol's going to close his eyes and focus on the force to try to do the right moment with spinning to slow it down enough to, jump to land in the sand.
All right. So, yep. That'll be two. That'll be 2 red. 1 difficulty. 2 black. Coordination check. Due to the massive spinning.
Two
Nice.
successes, no threat.
All right, so you managed to pull yourself and the guy out and just make a full kind of frog leap style push of your legs off from where you two were holding on. Just as the 2 skiffs get too close to each other, and the one that you were on basically flips onto the top of the other one, and sending the two skiffs into a spiral that just crashes into the larger rock formation and causing a massive fireball explosion. You kind of spin out of it with the guy and kind of land and roll on some sand and come to a stop. If your soak is less than 5, you would take wounds or strain. Otherwise, you won't take anything.
It's exactly 5.
Okay, then yeah, you won't take anything.
Just sort of like, thank you. Just to the force itself, he just sort of sets all the boss hears.
Yeah, the boss kind of just seems to lean up for just a second and then lean back, clearly unconscious from the fall. It did, between your lightsaber hit and the fall, that did just enough to knock him out.
Another person I have to carry.
So yeah, you're off away into the distance. You see Merrick kind of look at a little worse for wear and what looks like another body close to him, and then you see R2 just upside down in the sand.
I'll grab the boss's leg and start dragging him on the sand over to Uncle to try to help dig him out.
Yeah. And yeah, so now we will go back to the other group now. So yep, Sadani, you were stealthed and ready to go. How do you approach this remaining group of 3 as they're trying to target you guys? And
Well, since they've clumped themselves up into a nice group, I'm going to emerge from the shadows and try to take down as many as possible. Set the blaster carbine to stun and hope for the best.
okay.
So short range and any defenses?
No defenses, and you get a boost from stealth. They're not prepared to avoid what's coming.
No, they are not.
Oh.
So 12 stun damage and 4 advantage.
Would that advantage normally be enough to crit on that weapon?
Twice.
Well, we'll count it once. So yeah, we'll say you take out one of them with the advantage, and then how much do you say was damage? 12?
12 damage.
Okay. Yeah, that'll take out one of the others, leaving just one standing as you basically burst from the shadows and 2 just closely aimed shots fire out, hitting one and then the other. And then that leaves you with 2 advantage remaining.
I will pass that on to whoever goes next.
All right, Talia.
Oh, fun times. I mean, yeah, I think Sadani has the right idea here. Actually, hold that thought. I think Talia's gonna still advance forward, but before she tries to attack, she's just gonna look at this poor guy still standing here and just be like, "Would you like to surrender now? I'd rather not have to hurt you."
Jedi scum.
Okay then. Let's try and hit this dude then. as I frantically try to get my character sheet to load. Yeah, so if it's possible, Talia will follow Sidani's lead, and I think she'll just try to hit him with just a brawl attack instead of a lightsaber, because I don't think she wants to try and take him out necessarily, but
Yeah.
definitely enough to at least put him down.
Okay. Yep, you can kind of come in tight and punch. Yeah.
All right.
Using the shield gauntlet arm.
Yeah. What would the difficulty for that be again?
Well, it's just a melee check, so.
Okay.
Well, 2 difficulty.
Ooh. Okay.
You missed.
Yeah, missed.
Kata, she missed.
Help me.
Well, let's see. I'm using stun, so if I miss, it won't hurt.
Okay. You would need to move out of cover to get into short range, though, to use stun.
Okay, well,
Unless
do
it's
that.
if it's a stun setting weapon. If it's a stun weapon, then it doesn't matter. But if it's stun setting, you have to go to short.
Yeah, stun settings. I'll have to move to short, out of cover.
Yep.
Venata should be safe right
Yeah.
now.
She's furthest away from anything.
And I'll can use an incidental to aim, and I'll take 2 strain to aim again. So really don't want to accidentally boop a teammate in the back. Is it upgraded because she's engaged, or is it increased?
It's upgraded, so it would just be one red, and that's all.
I mean, I forgot to add the strain for the second name, but yeah, let's
Poor Talia. Oh man.
So something happened. It's impressive, just at the wrong spot.
Yeah. So how much stun damage is that coming Talia's way?
Oh, good. Thank you, Katas.
It's stun damage. It's 9.
Okay, so that would be 9 strain minus your soak.
Okay,
Talia.
okay. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
It just Kadas is gonna just kind of looks at the blaster like it's the blaster's fault. Shakes it a
Sure.
couple times.
All the times I saved you and you shoot my sister.
Oh dear. So cast him. You can
Yeah.
you can what do you real quick, Kadas, what do you want to do with the advantages?
I'll recover 1 strain and then just dump boost on the next person.
Okay. You can recover 2 strain and dump boost, so
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's just
Okay, so cast him, you get 2 boosts on your next check here.
Okay.
And
How far away are they?
Medium range.
I'll move to short, aim, and shoot.
Okay. Remember you have to roll a red because of...
Oh, right.
Okay, so it's 1 success and 2 advantage.
8 damage.
Okay, yep, you got him.
8 damage and a crit because I did not shoot my second weapon.
Yeah, well, you got him.
Oh, sorry, no crit. I forgot. No.
Yep. So, Talia, as you've like you go in to punch and just barely miss as the guy kind of dodges backward. As you're kind of trying to swing back in to do another hit, Kadas comes out and fires, and you get just enough in the way to catch it and kind of get knocked back, giving Castum an opening to kind of just shoot between you two and just nail the guy, and he falls backward.
Thank you, Castum.
Leaving.
Look at Kata's back at her. You're welcome.
As Sid is walking back and passing Talia, she'll give her a stern look. Next time, don't hesitate. You're less likely to get shot.
And Talia will just pick herself up and stare at her back, and I don't think you're wrong. But we should get these guys picked up.
Yeah, at this point, Venata kind of pops out of cover and well, that went well.
Just kind of do that so motion since Talia got shot.
Yeah. Yeah, so Venata holsters her blaster and approaches you all and kind of looks out toward the kind of where the skiffs were docked and kind of out toward the sands and think they're coming back?
Of course they are. Sol left with the babysitter. Of course they're coming back.
Sol left with the babysitter. They might be back.
Cue echo of explosions in distance.
Yeah, they wouldn't. It's far too far. You guys, it's sort of.
Yes, you get a comlink call at some point.
Be so sure. It's kind of late afternoon at this point, and as you guys are looking out, you see the sand starting to almost pick up a little bit, like there might be a sandstorm starting to come.
How far away? Like, do we think it would be in the next couple minutes, next hour?
I don't know. Does someone want to make a survival check?
I will. Regardless of the result, though, Sid is going to propose we bind all these pirates up and get some cover as soon as possible. What's the difficulty for the survival check?
So it'll just be 1 difficulty to setback. You do think a sandstorm is forming, but you don't know how bad or how long it'll take to arrive. The best you can gather is that it's definitely between you and where the skiffs went.
Right. Well, never been in a sandstorm. Would prefer not to experience it. Let's find cover.
Okay, so do you take any time with the there 5 of them are left alive, I believe. So you guys each kind of grab one. I assume Katas grabs 2. And kind of moves them all to some kind of cover. Do you leave all but one, or like how are you planning to handle it? Are you going to try to move through town with 5 captives?
Well, when they return with one of the skiffs, it probably won't be an issue.
I meant you're in the middle of Tatooine with a bunch of pirates.
I think it's in our best interest to try and take as many as possible, but there's also the realistic notion of how far can we actually get.
And how much time do we have? Like, if we have anything we can fashion a kind of binding rope out of, just out of like the materials nearby.
Okay. Oh, by the way, the place you're at is Mostello, and it's a pretty small. I'd say it's a pretty small town, but there's a larger one not too far away. It's just where you're at right now it's a pretty small area, just a kind of collection of probably about 1 district's worth of housing and kind of businesses.
Best case scenario, we rent transport, head to the larger town, and go from there.
Can I do like an outer rim check to find a quote unquote safe place to just weather the storm with these pirates?
That'd be streetwise.
Oh, dang! I was hoping like to know a town, but I'll do it.
I'll help.
No,
Storm's the
it'll
storm.
really just be me. Yeah, me adding a boost if you're doing a streetwise, because I assume you're far better than I am.
3 green, but I do remove 2 blacks because of the forager talent.
You can get a boost because I've been here sometime in the past, maybe. I'm an outer rim fella.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difficulty?
2 difficulty, 1 setback. Okay. So you're able to find a shelter large enough for the 5 of you plus the 5 remaining pirates if you wish to bring them with you.
It's a start.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to basically find a little bit down the road from where you just fought the pirates. You're able to kind of drag the 5 pirates through and find a small building to kind of get everyone into, and the Weequay woman who's running the small business that you guys are intruding upon seems a little unhappy, but doesn't fight with you at all. Appears to just be a small, like, probably repair shop of some kind.
Just to clarify, we did bind the pirates, right?
With what? I mean, you guys asked about those, like...
Does
Uh,
the woman running the shop happen to have a rope or anything that we could use?
Or cable.
Or cable?
Ask.
Yeah, okay. She'll, after making sure everyone's kind of tucked in, she'll walk up to Suma counter and be, I'm awfully sorry to bombard your establishment like this with a bunch of people, but would you happen to have some sort of rope or cable or something we could use to mind these nefarious pirates?
Asakuchis, and yeah. She's speaking in Huttese, which you don't understand.
Talia just looks back at the group slowly.
I want to look around the store, see if there's anything that can be used.
Okay. Make a two difficulty, one setback perception check, custom, while yeah, you're stuck there with the woman speaking at teeth. So take 2 strain, custom, as you're kind of just searching around to no roll avail. And the weak white woman starts like shouting out at you, custom, as you're knocking over a couple small things.
Would Kanos know Huttese because it's a trade
Yes.
language? Just
Yes.
all right.
Thank God.
He'll step forward and just talk to her in what is probably passable but not an expert.
Yeah.
And just we captured these pirates and are hoping to use your establishment as shelter for an oncoming storm. Do you have any wares we can use to secure their bindings? Cables, ropes?
She says she has some extra cable, but only if you're willing to pay 100 credits for it.
Got some nod, and he'll go to his belt and he'll pull out 175. This is for the inconvenience.
She just nods and takes it and kind of just crosses her arm, but is otherwise seems to be going to like get the door prepared to lock and stuff from the storm.
I can Kanos will walk back towards the group. She's just not thrilled about our presence here, but we struck a deal, and I can get to work on making something to make sure these prisoners of ours don't run out on us, though I doubt they would into that.
Yeah. All right, so Kadas, make a mechanics check of 2 difficulty, 1 setback of trying to. I assume you have your toolkit with you, right?
Yes, and I also have like was it tools for the job or mental tools? That's it.
But okay, so yeah, it'll just be 2 difficulty and 1 setback then to attempt to make shift the cable she gives you into some kind of wrapping bindings. And you can work on that. Everyone else amongst this subgroup can make a cool or discipline check to heal strain.
Can I help him?
If you do, you won't be doing the strain recovery.
I have 2 strain, that's fine.
Okay. And it'll just be Talia trying to recover strain.
Okay, do I get the inventor boost for using or creating a new item?
Yes.
All right.
And you're getting a boost from custom as well.
he might have higher skill than me, but I think we might be on the same intellect.
Yeah, I have 3 yellow, 1 green.
Okay. So that would that get me
Yeah.
a green or get me a boost?
It would get you a green then. Okay, so you're able to make enough out of it to cover 3 of them.
Okay. Are they conscious yet, or?
No.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do then.
It's only been a few minutes since you'll have started. It'll take you a while to finish like making them. It's just you'll be able to do 3.
Well, they shot my friends and they didn't surrender, and so what Kadas is going to do is he's going to pick the 3 out to be covered or restrained, and he's going to sit them or lay them on top of the others.
Yeah, okay.
Should have surrendered. I used a stun setting. They still didn't surrender.
All right. So with that, we'll cut away from you to Sol as he's trying to drag the boss along over to R2, whose legs are still kind of trying to just shift and move in the sand dune he's stuck in. Merrick, at this point you'd be able to move, just kind of hurting a bit, and would also have your guy near you, still unconscious. The other guy is an insight. Probably tried to run off back toward the town.
I mean, how far away is the town?
You can't see it.
Best of luck to him.
Sol, like while walking towards Uncle, just sort of yells at Merrick, "You good over there?"
Good is a relative term.
Yeah, as far as what you guys can see, you can obviously see the large rock formation that has 2 burning husks of skiffs on it. And to the kind of left and right of you, there's some short they're short, not either, but they're short cliffs with kind of sort of large sand kind of hills rolling and kind of some dunes that are settled. And that's really all about you can see at this moment. But yeah, you're Sol, what do you do when you get to R2?
Just sort of shakes his head like, "Oh, Uncle, how do you always get in these predicaments?" And he's going to use his ascension pistol to attach it to him to try and drag him out.
Okay. Yeah, just make a 2 difficulty athletics check to try to like just pull him with it. Okay. You're able to do so, but as you do, you kind of see his light looking, as you're able to kind of pull him out and slide him, you see his light looking kind of weak, and you see him like try to pop out a little, like his little sensor thing, but it's clearly damaged, and he just kind of goes and it's very clearly like he's not like not dying or anything, but just is definitely too damaged to really do much, and you're able to kind of just slide him down the little bit of the dune that he was in, but that's about it. He's clearly not able to move himself at the moment. Merrick, are you going over to where Sol is?
Yep. I'll pick up my unconscious guy, do a fireman's carry over to Sol and R2. And I'm going to say, Okay. What's the plan?
You start to notice that the sands are like kind of picking up around you with a bit of wind, like a bit of wind movement, and the suns are setting, but it's still like late afternoon. It's still lit, but it's definitely will probably be dark in I'd say the next hour or so.
Grandfather and father mentioned the dangers of Tatooine in the dark, so perhaps we should find a place to set up camp and then travel and give time to get Uncle sorted out to be able to travel.
Yeah. So yep, and we will fade out now for a short intermission. Should only be about 5 minutes or so. And then we'll be back with more of Session 1 of Destiny of the Force. See you in just a few minutes. And we are back. So we have Sol, Merrick, and R2 stranded in the middle of the desert with a couple of pirates, and the rest of the group huddled in a small repair shop in Mostelos, just trying to figure out what to do. And not too far away in the middle of the desert, putting some old parts onto a small kind of hover sled. Appears to be a woman in her probably early 20s. Very covered up with lots of wrappings. Can't even really see her face all that well. Just really her mouth, and that's about it. And she puts a part on, and as she looks out her goggles out at kind of the desert, she sees the storm that everyone else has been seeing start to come together, and her comlink comes to life, and you hear definitely not a human voice talking very quickly. And she picks up the comm and goes, okay, I'll be back soon. There's one last signal on my data pad. I want to check it out. I know the storm's coming. Be there soon. She puts the comlink to her belt and kind of starts pushing the sled and gets on it to kind of ride it down this sort of hill, and seems to be kind of heading out a little further into the desert from where she was at amongst the cliffs. Meanwhile, we see a kind of silvery starship with some black markings setting down amongst the cliffs, and with a lot of smoke emerging from the smoke and steam kind of emerging from the boarding ramp as it comes down. We see a black robed and armored man disembark from it. The armor is rather old looking, kind of has an ancient Jedi or Sith kind of style to it. It's kind of hard to determine exactly the make of it, and threaded throughout it, kind of like in between plates and sort of around it, because it's clearly an incomplete set of armor. is just these kind of thick, kind of black robe coverings leading up to a black hood that kind of hangs over the man's kind of forehead a bit. Just beneath the forehead, barely lit by the setting suns, you can see kind of a heavily scratched up silver and red kind of helmet with a visor. And you can kind of see the neck and chest move from some heavy breathing, but not too much sound is coming from the helmet. And this man looks fairly strong and tall, just like right around 6 foot, and has some weight to him. The other figure that's following down behind him is a woman with short, kind of orangish red hair, kind of tightly, kind of held and kind of tightly cut and held back, and a very sort of tight, form-fitting black and silver leatherous, with some little metal platings here and there, outfit that basically covers her from her neck to her boots. And you see her kind of stretching slightly, and as she's disembarking, you can see a saber staff on, like a double-bladed hilt saber staff on her back. Looks like it's clipped there. And she has some kind of robe coming out of the leather outfit toward kind of the bottom, almost like a combat skirt with a little bit also around the shoulders. Probably just to protect weaker points in the leather, but still keep her she looks very agile and easy to move in her outfit. And you see her put a hand on the shoulder of the armored man. She's here, I am certain of it. We must find her quickly, the armored man speaks out. I sense another presence here. We must find her first. And these two start to kind of set out from the ship and begin moving along the cliffside, both fairly quickly. And yeah, as we pan out away from them, we kind of screen wipe back into the little repair shop as Kadas is finishing the bindings for the prisoners. The sandstorm is definitely starting to arrive. You can hear kind of the wind picking up, but you're still not seeing too much sand out. And yeah, one of the pirates seems to be starting to wake up.
Kadas will approach the pirates, but he'll keep his pistol out and make sure it's the first thing the pirate sees when he gains clarity of vision.
And he just seems really disappointed as he's waking up.
Don't be that way. It could have been off stun.
Look, we just hijacked it. We don't got it anymore.
And are you still so unwilling as to not tell us where you sent it? Who you gave it to?
That was the boss. Don't know anything.
Apparently, you mean very little to your boss.
Your friends hadn't stolen the other one, we could've made it.
Instead, you were left behind to fend for yourselves.
We didn't know it was a Jedi shipment. Never would have bought that trouble.
Well, maybe you can unbuy it. Does your crew have a base of operations, a city on this planet that you regularly convene at, or is this more of a transitory location?
We were just here to pick up some supplies, and then we were gonna go into Espa from here.
So, assuming you got away, you would have regrouped at Vespa.
Espa.
No, Espa. Is there any way to contact your leader here or there?
I could try to. You get me my comm.
I don't know about that. Could try to warn your friends, and then whatever meager bounty you and yours have accumulated really wouldn't be worth it if we had to fight our way to our ship.
He just kind of leans back amongst the other unconscious pirates.
Yeah, Kadas is just kind of shoot a look at everyone else is kind of like he doesn't really know what he's doing.
You said you didn't even know it was a Jedi shipment. Were you told anything at all before you were sent to do this job?
Knew a ship was coming in through one of the lanes we cover. Our boss got alerted to this one. Was told a buyer would pay a lot for it. We got it. Thought we'd be set enough to finally leave this rock.
Sid, who's been just kind of watching the entrance for signs of the others, at this point will turn and speak up. And what do you know of your buyer for this?
Boss handled everything. But, I think it was a Rhodian. That's all I know.
Do you know where you're supposed to hand off the goods?
Yeah, we did it in Espa. Like I said, we were just out here for supplies when you got a hold of us. He should still be there. Probably all in a warehouse somewhere.
Did anybody
Somewhere
look
you-
in... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Somewhere. You can't be more specific?
We handed it off. We don't know where he put it. He picked it up from the spaceport.
Sid just kind of curses but keeps silent.
Did any of your crew look in the box?
No.
Is he lying?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that sounded more like a question than a statement.
Okay, so Kadas is doing a lie check. Or lie detect, I assume.
We're gonna attempt it. I got 2 ranks and a green, so it'd be 2 red and purple, from a discipline.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Wow.
Ignore those blank dice. Ignore those.
Thought you said you had good discipline.
I mean, relatively to, like, me.
And me.
Mm-hmm.
Is the shop owner still around, or has she secluded herself to not be involved in this mess?
Not be involved in this mess. Found a quieter room in the repair shop and has closed the door.
Okay. Is the sandstorm going on outside, or
Still hasn't started yet, but continues to pick up, and it continues to get darker, obviously.
And he's still the only one awake.
Yeah, you get the impression you're probably not going to do any better.
Klaus will just kind of holster his pistol and just walk away. Let's see.
Yeah,
Kinda-
Vanada's kind of off to the side, just in case you guys are wondering, just kind of almost continuously trying to fix her jacket.
You'll
I almost kind of
Charles
wanted
will
to
try
do
to
as. Oh, go ahead.
you go ahead.
I was gonna say I almost kind of wanted to see if I could do a deception check that and lie about what was possibly in the box and see if he tries to if he's dumb enough to be like, no, this was in it.
I mean,
But
could go for it.
I have all of 2 yellow.
Oh.
It's not bad, but it's not really good either.
How disciplined do you think this guy is?
That's a fair point.
Listen, skills and the lack thereof have never stopped me before.
You know what? Yeah, that's actually a fair point. I will try that, I guess.
Okay. One difficulty.
What?
Well, let's hear the lie.
Wow. I was just gonna say something dumb like, wow, and you guys just handed that off. You could have sold those books for so much more. Or those holograms or whatever. Data pads.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't really get much of a reaction out of the guy.
Yeah, he probably just like raises like eyebrow, like what?
Do we still have access to a speeder or anything that
No.
could sit all of us? No.
No, you guys came out in a speeder, but it got trashed in the initial kind of outbreak with them.
Question. Since I have the sightless vision, do I have to be outside technically in the sandstorm to be able to quote unquote see? Or will being inside a building and sandstorm be a little too much for that to work?
How does it work? Like, what are you looking to do with it?
Well, just as Melitos can perceive their surroundings without needing light and never suffers penalties on combat or perception checks due to darkness or other factors that affect vision.
Yeah, you would not be affected by the sand as far as seeing goes, yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, you can't see through a wall still.
yeah, I know, but like my thought process was being inside a building trying to see into the sandstorm.
Oh, no,
a little too much to ask for.
No, you could do that. Yeah,
Okay.
you just don't have many ways to look out. There's just only a couple of openings, because otherwise you guys would get blasted by the sand.
Yeah. All right, then I guess I'll go on watch since I failed to trick this guy.
How far away is Mos Espa?
About an hour by speeder, probably a good bit longer by walking.
Frustrating.
Is there a weather channel?
No.
Yeah, as close as you're getting to that is Sid looking out the window / door, which isn't exactly great weather predicting.
Well, I don't think it'd be smart of us to go look for our friends with all of that about to happen outside. It's probably even worse trying to walk to Espa from here.
Yeah, you'd probably be able to obtain transport for up to 6, but that doesn't really cover what you're working with here?
No, but transport for 304 might be doable. Go out and find them, come back.
I was referring to getting to Espa, not looking for the others. That's a separate thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, looking for the others, obviously. Well, you need to have a speeder that could hold at least the other two and R2.
We haven't searched these guys, have we? Or just
Yeah, you wouldn't find anything other than like their blasters and a few loose credits, that kind of thing.
I think I'm going to try to talk to our hosts real quick, and then we can narrow down our options if that's all right with the rest of you.
Make it past. The others should have been back by now. And we're not going to Espa without them.
All right. I also just head towards the shut door, just knock on it, and speak in Huttese. May I enter?
The Weequay woman comes to the door and opens it and kind of just sticks her head out. And you get a firm no in Huttese. What do you want?
These pirates. It may be that we can't take them with us when we have to leave, and to be honest, they don't look like much of a threat. And as you live here, I would like your input on what we should do with them.
If they not worth anything, why keep them?
Fair enough. I just want to make sure that they hadn't caused or gained a reputation of making trouble around here. All right. I'll convene with my group, and if they agree, once we're done questioning them, we'll just let them go without their blasters and whatever credits they walked in with.
She just nods and points to a bin where you can put the blasters if you want, and then closes the door.
Ikedas will come back to the others. Well, unless they have anything else to say, I guess it's time to put it to a vote on whether we should let them go or dispose of them.
Well, I can tell you it's my opinion that it's not the Jedi way to take lives needlessly. So,
Yeah, that seems a little on the cruel side. There's no law in this town we could just pass them off to?
Venata speaks up to that. Under what charge?
Sid just kind of shrugs.
This is Hut territory. If anything, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, you're a pirate. Go ahead, join my crew."
Well, if they've done nothing wrong, well, there's nothing we can do. Jedi don't exactly have jurisdiction out here, to my understanding. So, let them go.
Let's see. Does Cass or Sidani have any? Oh, this is probably a little meta, but like a reputation for being a little quick-fingered. So I know you're pretty sneaky, the both of you, but
I am not a thief.
all right. I'll gather their blasters and they can find their own shelter in this incoming storm. At least we'll be able to sleep easier, knowing we won't get shot.
Okay, then if you're like fully like kind of shoving them out, as the others are waking up, the one who was awake first will kind of help direct them and kind of run out through the, like try to run out and quickly find another place to take shelter.
As the last one goes out, Kadas will try to like grab him by the wrist to look at him.
Mm-hmm.
You ever draw a blaster on me again, it won't be on stun. And let him go.
Alright.
If we're done watching them, I would like... I would like to try to find a speeder, transport, something. Find the rest of the team and bring them back here.
Well, as you're looking out as the others leaving, like the sand is definitely picking up and kind of going through the streets a bit. So if you're going out to look for any transportation right now, it would be dealing with those conditions. It's not like full on storm, but it's definitely enough to cause an issue.
Good thing I don't care about those conditions.
Well, you're still you'll still be affected by the sand hitting you and the wind moving. It just won't be. You just
Visual.
won't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Sid will wrap herself in a cloak. Anyone coming with me? Otherwise, stay put. We don't need to lose any more out here.
Cass will definitely just walk up.
All right, let's go.
Okay. And as you two head out in the storm, or the coming storm, I should say, to try to find a speeder, we'll go out to Sol Merrick and the dilapidated R2, along with their two pirate captives of their own. It's not quite dark yet, but the suns are starting to hit the horizon line, and you're all still kind of in that spot where you got R2 out, and yeah, so what's the current plan?
The boss is awake, isn't he? The pirate boss.
He got knocked out by the fall.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to try and wake the two pirates up. Because, well, quickly, I'm just going to confer with Sol. I'm going to say, do you know anything about surviving in a desert?
Yes, do not go to the desert. No,
If you're already in the desert, then what do we do?
Soul start describing the houses that grandfather talked about living in and be like, yeah, we need to find one of these.
A house? We need to find a house. Yeah. I think we need their help.
Yeah, that'll probably be a good idea. Plus, I don't want to drag them through the rocks in case we need to find a cave or something to dip into.
Yeah, you as you're saying that, you hear the kind of a very quiet hum of like of repulsors nearby.
Oh, nice.
Just out of instinct, Soul looks at the ones that are on fire. The ones that are on fire, like what?
They're not coming from that way. Although by turning to see those, you do see the coming of what appears to be a kind of large hover sled full of just kind of junk. Looks like stuff stripped away from like crashed speeders and ships and stuff that got lost in the desert. And as you see that sled approaching, you see the kind of already described heavily covered woman, and the sled comes to a stop by the group of you, and she jumps off and kind of, you see her sort of like hand sticking into like the contents of the sled as if she's grabbing like perhaps a weapon or at least something to defend herself with, and says, how do you get out here?
I'm just gonna gesture to the two
Yeah, Soul's gonna
ships.
do the same thing. We just both point at the ships.
Oh, I'll have to come salvage those in the morning.
It's all yours.
You got a droid or something? And you see her holding up a data pad with a little like blip going off.
Soul gets in a defensive stance in front of, like, this is my uncle.
Well, and she kind of looks in the direction of the coming sandstorm as it's clearly getting worse. Well, your uncle may have saved you. I know shelter nearby.
You saved me a lot, and I would appreciate this shelter.
And she kind of points to sort of an openish spot on the sled and says, "Get the droid on here. Help pull your." And she kind of looks at the pirates and kind of grimaces and says, friends, up on the back. Hurry."
Soul will listen to her and immediately start loading everything up.
Yep, you heard the lady.
Just Merrick pull out his flask while he's just staring at Soul doing everything.
I'm an old man. You can't expect me to lift these people all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order, I'll go uncle, then the boss, and then the lieutenant.
Yeah, she's
order of importance.
Yeah, you see her kind of just pulling at stuff, trying to make enough room on the sled for everyone to kind of fit on. And she points to lines like, you just have to make over that ridge.
Sounds easy enough.
Just before we actually step on, does she appear to be lying or deceitful in any way? I mean, I don't really have a choice. We're going to get on anyway, but I'd like to know if we're going into a trap.
All right. Discipline.
3 red and a purple.
Okay.
Wow.
She seems very. The best I can say from like the thread on the roll is she seems very good natured, at least. Like you don't get a bad feeling off of her at all. And then obviously you believe what she's saying.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it's not like we have much of a choice, so.
We get there, it just turns out she really enjoys traps.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so she kind of has to. She kind of pulls at Sol's arm. Help me, please, because when she's first trying to get the sled going, all the extra weight seems to be giving it a bit of trouble.
Sure. I mean, you are helping us.
Yep. So 2 difficulty, 1 black, athletics. As the 2 of you are kind of pushing on each side of the sled, trying to help the repulsors kick in gear enough, you kind of sense something from her. Like, you kind of sense a connection to the Force. It seems almost unconscious, like she's not noticing it, but it's still helping her.
Sol will take note of that.
Yeah, and between the 2 of you, you are, of course, able to push it.
Sol will sort of offhandedly just sort of make a comment, like a Force comment, just like not towards her, just like the Force and its mysteries, like something like that, just to see how she reacts.
And she just kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "The Force?"
Yes, you are helping a Jedi Knight in training.
And her eyes kind of, you can see just kind of past the goggles a little bit, her eyes widen. But she keeps pushing.
We're on Jedi business. A shipment was stolen. Have you heard anything about that while scavenging?
No, we only make a few trips into Espa only a few trips a month.
So you have family we're heading to? Friends?
And she at family, you see her shoulders kind of depress, and she kind of shakes her head. And, no, but friend, yeah.
Friends can be just as close as blood family. I'll say Sol like sort of looks at R2 and is like, or mechanical.
Yeah, I have a droid kind of like him.
Can't wait to meet him. And Sol starts to strain as it starts to get harder as he's talking and pushing at the same time.
I'm sorry, miss. We didn't catch your name or introduce ourselves. forgive us for being so rude. We were caught up in the crash and the heat. My name is Merrick Cole, and this is Sol Skywalker.
Soul nods.
I must say I haven't. And she kind of like she's trying to clean her hands like on her because they're only kind of half wrapped on her kind of outfit, and says I'm Ray Dameron.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Dameron.
So like goes to try to shake her hand, but like realizes he can't push, and just sort of like we could do that later.
Yeah, and so at this point the speeder's going, or the sled's going well enough that you guys can kind of just sort of get on it. You still kind of have to get off whenever it gets to a bit of an elevation, but you're just trying to get over the ridge, and then it's once you get to the top it'll be downhill all the way. But yeah, so once you get to the top of that ridge, it kind of comes to a stop, and as you guys are looking out, you see what looks to be mostly darkness. The suns have just about set at this point, but you see what looks like a bunch of little lights and a small like dark brown kind of vehicle. It kind of reminds you of a sand crawler, but not quite. It's a lot smaller, but it has kind of that armoring look to it. And you see a bunch of little lights outside, and what looks to be like some kind of opening large enough for kind of the sled to fit through, with like a bit extra room, obviously. And she points out to that spot and just says, hold on. This kind of helps push it over the side of the ridge, and the sled starts moving down toward the lit area. You'd see her kind of leaning over R2 and kind of just pats on him and says, we'll get you fixed up.
He's been worse, but not in a while.
My friend, he's good with droids. Helps me take care of mine and a few others.
I think we need to patch ourselves up as well, Mr. Skywalker.
Looks at all the bloodied bandages. Yes, I do believe I'm starting to leak again.
And she says, "Oh, well, Doc can help you. Sometimes when I get hurt, it was too difficult to get into town, so we put together a medical droid."
Yeah, so I wonder if Doc is any good at dealing with lightsaber cuts.
And she looks a little confused.
It's like a very hot sword.
Oh.
Very hot sword.
And yeah, so as the sled comes to a stop at the bottom of the hill, and you see her jump from it and start shouting at Zuvki! Zuvki! And you hear the sound of like something falling over and making a crash as a small kind of a very patched up brown robed figure kind of jumps out from behind kind of a covering area, holding what looks to be a slug thrower pistol, like, up, but clearly not held like someone who's used to holding it, just kind of doing his best ace. And, you're allowed, Octica! and this, very clear, the yellow eyes kind of darting around, it's very clearly a Jawa. And Ray kind of steps forward and leans down and says, Zufki, they're all right. I found them.
Sol sort of like looks out and looks to the Jawa and is like, just sort of yells out like, Kamasa nu Iata. We are friends.
And he kind of just nods a bit, mostly to Ray, but seems to have heard Sol, and slowly puts the slug thrower away.
As Sword Turn America, hope he doesn't want to have a conversation. That's all I know.
And
Just tell him he only speak basic. Just shout in basic loudly.
yeah, and you see a bunch of gray pit droid like droids start coming out to help like pull the sled in and like start pulling parts off the sled. Inside this like machinery is what we'll call it at this moment. It's just a larger version of what's on the sled, but you see kind of like a clear sleeping area, kind of for Ray and Zufki, and you see some other like a workshop area where you see droids kind of seemingly being rebuilt or makeshifted together, and what appears to be a makeshift medical droid with kind of, it seems to be some security parts mixed with some medical parts, kind of leans down and forward and says, Miss Ray, any injuries? And she shakes her head but points to Sol and Merrick and says, I think they need some looking at.
Sol just sort of looking around and just sort of, Ray, this place is amazing.
And she just smiles and shrugs and says, it's cozy. And you see her kind of going out the
Oh, Sol just looks at her and he's just like, I just live in a room with a bed and a desk.
and she shrugs and kind of passes by a few containers before getting to sort of another doorway that's probably leading out to where most of those lights were. Probably what little of an outdoor area I have. And as storm's coming, we need to close up. Scorch! And you hear the sound of an astromech droid rolling in. It's mostly orange and white with some black markings. And kind of rolls in, and you see her starting to run in a few lanterns and such, and getting the kind of side door of this thing closed.
Sol would like kneel down and sort of reach his hand up.
At the droid?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of rolls up to you, rolls back a little bit, is a little unsure, and kind of just swivels.
Greetings.
Won't.
I hope to be great friends.
Well, it kind of just seems to be like a yes or something along those lines. Then seems to roll off toward R2. Wanting to see him, and Zuvki's also started looking at R2 as the pit droids kind of moved him over. Like,
Right. Well, shall we close up before the sandstorm gets us?
yeah, well, at this point it would only be the back door, the one that the sled came through, that needs to be closed, so one of you can hit that, presumably.
I will look at Sol, because I'm not very good with buttons.
Afraid to hit the wrong one, just so you can blame Sol. Yeah, Sol will go and close the door.
Yeah.
Well, he would look to Ray first, to give is this okay?
And she would just give a real quick, kind of nod. And yep, so it would begin to close up, and all the lights being brought in basically light the inside, and that's about it. And Zuvki begins looking over R2. Looks like Ray speaks to him quietly for a moment, and Zuvki seems both disappointed and excited. Is about the best way it can be, is like he's excited to work on R2, but the impression you get is he's disappointed that they don't get to keep R2.
Sol's gonna take the boss pirate to the med droid, and as he's passing Ray, he's gonna hand his lightsaber hilt to her and just point at the hilt and be like, dangerous end. Bottom. Ignition. And then just sort of keeps dragging the boss up back.
She kind of sort of sits on a container and kind of looks at it, careful to make sure the dangerous end isn't pointing toward her.
Ah, yes. It's time for my favorite thing. Let's play good Jedi bad cop. Sol, are you familiar with this tactic?
Yes, I be nice, ask him questions, and then prevent you from murdering him.
What? No. I said bad cop, not evil cop.
Well, I think you're a great cop, so I think for you to be bad, you would have to resort to murder.
Where's Talia when you need her? Just follow my lead.
Of course, this is your thing.
Okay, so yeah, you would as the medical droid works on him, and he very quickly kind of wakes up. The lieutenant is still out. You get the impression the lieutenant's probably not waking up anytime soon. He had a bit of a harder fall.
A little bit.
Like, you're pretty sure he's not dead, but
I mean, I think I would have checked that.
yeah. No, I meant more of like, he ain't getting up. All right, so okay, so yeah, the boss starts coming around and kind of like when he sees you do it. That seems like where his eyes like, where am I?
Where you are is of no importance. What you know is the only thing that matters. Tell us where the shipment is, or we'll throw you out into the sandstorm.
And as if on cue, you see some of the lights flicker as the whole thing kind of seems to rock back and forth a little bit from the wind of the sandstorm.
Sol's gonna look around for like whatever the most dangerous looking like jump tools are, and just points over at those. He's like, or sort of imply that we might be like undisclosed torture room. Like,
Yeah, well, and in the background, you can't really see because of how stuff is layered, but in the background, you just hear Zuvki kind of giggling and making noises, and as he's working on R2, and so you hear the sound like of a welder and like little Jawa noises.
we could always send you to him. As he like nods his head back behind him towards the noises.
Oh, you don't want us to send you to him.
Okay. So, against, make a coercion check against 1 red, 2 difficulty, and 1, setback, but you'll also get, 2 boosts due to roleplay and noises. Okay, so yeah, you kind of just, okay, alright, fine. What do you want to know?
Where's our shipment?
It's a little Rhodian, his name's Lubidi. He's kind of pale green guy.
How did a Jedi shipment even get known?
Yeah. Maybe you got your holes in your security.
Where can we find Labidi?
He runs his market through Mos Espa. Yeah, it's got it good in with the huts. They help set up buyers. He gets things sold, and they clean a nice commission off of him.
What kind of crew does he usually run with? Do you know?
Yeah. Hut business. Hut crew.
Does he gather his own information, or does he have an information broker that he works with?
Yeah. No. Just told us when and where, and we got it. I thought the ship seemed a bit too official looking.
Any way you can arrange a meetup with this Labidi? Tell him you want to take on another job, maybe.
You don't reach him, he reaches you. He trolls one of the cantinas in the area and make deals when he wants a crew to do his work.
Well, obviously we've proved ourselves in taking a shipment and stopping a skiff, so I'm sure you wouldn't mind spreading word around about a great new crew showing up. I mean, we are friends and all since I saved your life.
You just see him spit toward like a corner where it seems like spit won't be an issue.
Well, I mean, with the information we've got, I think we can make a start anyway. Yeah, sounds like enough to go on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess we can part as friends. So shall I show you to the door? And I start like, Sol just starts reaching for him like he's gonna walk him out.
Whoa.
No. Here, right. We're gonna be here for a while. So let's just chat. Yeah, I'm gonna take out my flask and give it to him. Have a sip.
Always official, no fun.
You let us wait till the storm's over, and I'll make it known that there's a good crew.
Of course we'll let you wait. I'm a Jedi, not a pirate. And just sort of smiles at him.
He sits back, kind of takes a small sip of the flask, but clearly doesn't want to be any more indebted to you than he already is. And
May I ask how long you've been a pirate?
he kind of just squints. What's it to you?
Just making conversation. I'm genuinely
Yeah,
interested.
just trying to pass the time.
Being a pirate, you must have great stories. I don't judge you for it. You gotta have credits out here. And just sort of looks around like, I mean...
He just kind of crosses his arms and like leans back, clearly not the most social of people.
Con, there's gotta be one job that you're very proud of that you want to tell us about.
Yeah. You ruined it.
But with style. Gotta at least agree with me on that.
Yeah.
You'll be able to tell this story to all of your friends at the canteen. How you survived the double skiff wreck.
And survived a Jedi.
Right. At this point, Ray kind of leans in and says, I think your droid is online.
Yes, Uncle. Merrick, are you good here?
Yeah, we're good.
Sol just gotta run off like all giddy.
Yeah. So she leads you around to Zuvki and over to R2 and basically Zuvki says some things and Ray translates, and he says wasn't able to fix his long range scanner, but everything else should be okay.
Well, I am greatly appreciative of everything that you've done.
And she kind of smiles and sort of half shrugs and says, well, yeah.
Sol like brings out his his last 20 credits and kind of offers it to the Jawa. It's like, this is all I have left.
He kind of pushes it back toward you and kind of makes a like kind of hand motion of we're good before going to start looking at all the stuff that was brought by Ray. And you see Ray kind of moving off like a little bit toward where she probably the bed that's probably hers, or well, what counts as a bed amongst all this. And you see her very slowly starting to, like, she takes the goggles off and is starting to unwrap around her head.
Sol doesn't like stare at her directly, just because
Wow.
feeling a little awkward, like just it's just like so.
Yeah, it's her
what did
her very covered body, other than her head.
Well, still beside her bed, like so. He's not in this situation very often.
Yeah, and you see she has a bit kind of longer of hair that was all wrapped up, and she kind of lets it fall a little bit, and it's sort of a mess. But in general, she's very kind of dustied and dirtied and all that. But she seems to be doing her best to kind of use the wrappings to kind of wipe off.
So, what'd you think of the lightsaber hilt?
And she responded with a quick, "Oh, right," and she picks it up and hands it back to you. It's interesting.
It's a very varied tool. Not just a weapon, but a shield, and can be used as a tool in many situations.
And she just kind of nods and sort of gives a half smile, and she seems like kind of awkwardly unsure of what to say or anything now that you can actually see her facial features, and just sort of shrugs to herself and says, "Are we? So why are you here?" And she's going back over and is kind of taking off everything that isn't like immediately covering clothes, like just kind of additional wrappings and stuff. She kind of has a basic shirt and pants under it, which seems to be what she's getting down to.
As mentioned previously, a Jedi shipment was taken, so we were trying to investigate, and Skiffs got out of control and wrecked, and you found us.
Oh, wow. And she looks over at Zuvki and says, I can talk to him about getting us as far as Espa. You need a ride.
That would be great. Have you heard of the BD?
The BD. Yeah, I think Zuvki sold some things to him.
Well, the pirate in there is going to spread word around. We're gonna pretend to be a crew, so if you hear our name pop up, be sure to give great remarks. And he just sort of smiles at her.
Aren't you small to be a crew?
We have others. My sister and all my other friends, and even a Mandalorian is with us.
She seems slightly concerned at that, but otherwise nods. She's clearly heard from her reaction. She clearly has a better idea of what a Mandalorian is than a Jedi.
He's proven himself to be of great value.
Yeah, Also, if you had to,
He's not like other Mandalorians either.
he's also, now that you get a better look at her, she's very clearly like right about your age, right around 20. Like she's pretty young.
If we run into them in town, I'd love to introduce you to them.
Oh, I shouldn't.
My sister would definitely want to thank you for saving my life.
Oh, right. You're hurt. should-
Honestly, I'm hurt so much I literally forgot until you just said something.
Yeah. Yeah, Doc will help you out.
Well, we can still conversate. My friend Merrick should be next in line.
And she kind of just it's an awkward smile before Doc kind of grabs Merrick's arm, like,
And then Sol just sort of yells,
where does
Yeah.
it hurt?
and sort of yells out, "He's older and way more fragile."
I'm not too old to kick your ass, Mr. Skywalker.
Wait, you say that after I've been shot and blown up and fallen off a skiff?
I just point at myself, like, see the bullet wounds, see the sand all over my face.
Right. Yeah, so Doc is gonna start checking up on you while
Sol just awkwardly pulls out like of his belt, like, food capsule.
Was that at Ray or Merrick?
Yeah, right.
she kind of grabs that. I was like, sure.
Not much, but you'll be full.
So let's see what we got here on Merrick. Not much. That's 4 wounds for Merrick. Off.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Also, you both can make a strain recovery as well. All right. And so yeah, as they're chilling, we're gonna go back over to the rest of them.
While we're eating the food capsule, though, Sol feels bad not being able to offer them anything, so he's actually gonna pull out the schematics of where he was trying to make his lightsaber look like the way it was supposed to look, and sort of have like run Ray through it, like of how everything operates and stuff, and take apart what he can, like the panels that he can, just to show the insides and stuff, just so they have something to talk about. But
Okay. All right. Yeah, she's very curious, and yeah, she does seem mechanically inclined as well. It's just of the two, Zuvki's more of the I do things one.
yeah, he's also selfishly hoping that she points things out that of the mistakes he made.
Maybe a few little ones, but I don't think anything. You still have the lore of the weapon that she does not.
Yeah, most of it's just the aesthetic that he messed up.
Yeah, which she can help a little. All right, over to the rest of the group. There, anything happening with Talia and Kadas as they're hanging out with Anata? Or will we check in with the other two?
Yeah, I assume they're just sort of waiting out the storm. Probably
Mm.
just talking. Don't imagine there's anything specific.
Yeah, at most could also just be like making room for like places to sleep, sitting, laying down. Just as terrible as it might be trying to find somewhere to sleep in here.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, and Venata would just be quietly kind of waiting for her sister to get back and a little concerned about the others and all that. All right. We'll we'll have a brief cutscene here of a short rock outcropping where the two dark-clothed figures from earlier are currently seem to be waiting out the storm. The man seems very impatient, kind of skidding his feet around a bit and just kind of seems to be trying to stay chill. And meanwhile, the woman has got her legs crossed and seems to be meditating, at least somewhat. Get the impression maybe trying to find something. After a moment, she kind of opens her eyes with a kind of a startled movement, and she sort of leans backward out of her meditation, and the man turns. What? Did you find her? Yes, but she's not alone. It was him, wasn't it? Yes. You see him kind of punch into the wall, making a bit of the rocks crumble and fall. Skywalker. And then we'll cut back to Sedani and Custom as they're trying to find a speeder amongst everything
All right.
going on.
Sid's gonna lay out some quick ground rules for the search. We're only going to be searching in the direction they left from the firefight in, and only about 10 to 15 minutes, even less if the storm gets real bad. I do not want us caught out in here. It'd be easy to search afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, first you gotta find a speeder.
All right. What are we rolling to look around? Is the one that's left unlocked, or
There aren't too many around in the area in general. You see obviously some animals, but most of those have been brought like under shelters or such to out of the storm. But yeah, can you one of you make a perception check? Obviously, there is a difference in what checks you're making based on which of you is doing it, so.
I have 2 yellow.
1 yellow, 1 green, -2 black, and 4 die.
No, he also minuses the black, so.
Yeah, because negates the environmental effect.
Up to you which way you guys want to go with it.
She can do it since she's got the extra force dice.
Okay.
So then I guess you'd get the rank upgrade, and then yeah, the difficulty will be 2 difficulty and 2 setback, which you remove.
To difficulty, to setback removed.
I didn't catch what you said.
I was just repeating 2 difficulty and then 2 setback removed.
Yeah, correct.
So
yeah, so you're able to find 1 speeder. It holds 4 plus cargo, so theoretically, if you could find them, that would be enough. Because you could put R2 in the cargo spot.
okay.
But yeah, you need to try to activate the speeder. And while you're trying to get the speeder active, Custom, can you give me a perception check against 3 purple? 3 difficulty, I mean, but yeah, same difference. All right. You notice kind of a movement nearby, like a droid of some kind. And you kind of hear other like soft noises of some kind.
I'll point it out. 2. Right. Sid, since the name changed again.
Yeah, same character, different name. Sid curses Sith spit. So, what? Security? Is that what we're looking at?
Possibly. But, I mean, this is also Tatooine.
How fast would it take to use the speeder to get a sensor read in that direction?
Faster than starting it up. So you could go ahead and do that. Make a
I think it will.
2 difficulty computers check.
Oof.
You just get kind of a cluster of signals kind of in that general direction, which could easily be like lights and like small machinery and stuff like that.
What's around us? Like, who would we be taking the speeder from? Can we tell?
No, not at this moment. It's just a small housing row. Could be anybody.
Okay. And how bad is the storm?
Visibility is not very far ahead at the moment. Probably no more than long range when there's occasional gusts, medium.
Yeah, that might end up proving to be more problematic than I was hoping. What do you think?
Damn, there's not a whole lot of really good options right now. You can't really hide anywhere. Well, I mean, Storm, but if they even have decent sensors at
Well,
all.
would have to be quick about it. That's the thing. At most, the guidelines she laid out 15 minutes max in a single direction, and then would have to turn around. If we're this could spiral out of control very quickly. It might be worthwhile to just wait, because we can at least explain a sense of ping if we think that someone's caught out in the sandstorm.
I'm fine with that. That does honestly kind of seem like our best option so far.
I want to use the foresee power and just try to get a sense of how much danger the others are in. Can I do that?
I mean, you can see into your own future, so.
But not theirs.
Yeah. I mean, I would let you, depending on it, I'd let you spend a destiny point to kind of get an impression at least.
I will take that.
Okay, so just keep in mind you're gonna have to deal with whatever you get though. All right.
Force sense, not force sense.
Yeah.
Forget the spelling. Foresee.
Yep. All right. So what's the activation on that?
1.
Just the basic?
Yes, I do not have any upgrades.
Okay. So we'll say the since you're looking at someone else, it would have required double use, but that's fine. You've got 4, so not an issue. All right. So yeah, you do your best to sense out and get an impression of Soul. Basically, it's a lot easier to kind of connect to Soul than Merrick. You get a feeling that they're okay. And that they have found somewhere safe and that they're on their way to Espa, but you get this creeping feeling that on their way to Espa something bad is gonna happen. And that's all you're able to really see.
That will do for now. So when she opens her eyes, she'll turn back to her companion. They'll at least survive the storm. It's afterwards that might be problematic. We should at least get back to the others and get ready for that, whatever we can.
All right.
So yeah, we'll cut back to the repair shop as the two of you just barely make it in before a huge gust of sand, and it kind of blows down and nearly would knock you two over. Venata quickly kind of rushes and hits the controls to close the door behind you.
Yeah, common sense came over us. Good thing, too.
Well, glad to see you guys are still in one piece. didn't have much luck with the speeder then?
Through the Force, I sensed the others will survive the storm. We'll be alright for the night. I believe they're heading to Espa, and hopefully we can catch them on the way. We found a speeder, sent out a sensor ping, but didn't come up with anything, so they might have just flown far enough to be out of the storm entirely.
That would be convenient.
Should we assume they knows much or more about this possible contact the pirates have?
Depends if they caught the mark.
The boss would know, according to the guy you interrogated.
And the visions seem to indicate them moving toward a larger city. I'm assuming that's Espa, so I would imagine so. Otherwise, I figured they would come back here.
Okay. Then yeah, so it sounds like we're gonna go ahead and go through the night then. And go into the next day where we'll join up with Sol and Merrick now. You were basically made to makeshift areas to kind of lay down. It was the best they could really offer you.
Sol will cuddle with Uncle and put a blanket around us while he's charging during the night.
Uh-huh. Alright, so... Yep, so as you, as you two kind of had a long sleep, you're suddenly woken up by a lot of like jostling and moving as you see, and you wake up just in time to catch a small like wrench like thing before it would hit your leg.
Yet Sol would like jump up and just be like, that's no way to wake someone up.
You don't see any sign of Zufki or Ray, but you do see kind of Scorch using sort of like R2 the bit of like eye that can be kind of poked up. You see something sort of like that, but he has a slightly different model of astromech, so something like that kind of poked up a little bit to look out a viewport, and you kind of see what looks like, you can see a bit of light, but it's still probably pretty early in the day, and you can see what appears to be sand, but it keeps moving up and down, up and down.
Sol just looks at her at some sort of transport.
Yep. And so Merrick, you would have been woken up at this point as well by probably a very similar occurrence.
Oh no, Sol would be the one to throw the wrench towards his direction after.
Woke up to a clanging.
He would miss on purpose. It would just hit the wall behind him.
That's no way to wake up an old man.
There's something going on over here.
Okay.
There's dancing sand.
That's probably the sandstorm.
Now it's over. Mostly.
But yeah, as you approach the viewport, you would see that the whole thing that you were inside of appears to be some kind of walker, and is moving with at least 4 legs. You can't tell if it's more through the desert. And so the sand line moving up and down was just whenever one of the legs kind of shifted downward.
Sol just sort of smiles over at Merrick, like, I still half asleep. I thought it was moving towards us.
I'm assuming this is Ray driving, I guess.
Piloting.
I hope so.
But yeah, you hear some what sounds like soft talking coming from above you, and you see that there was a kind of near where a panel was. There's a ladder that's now visible near where their kind of sleeping area was.
Sol's gonna like rush to it, thinking that Merrick might rush to it and be like, "Dibs, I want to drive a walker."
By all means, last time I drove, we crashed.
Yep. So as you get to the ladder and kind of climb up, you see Ray kind of seems to be fiddling around with some parts, and you hear a bit of like low Jawa laughing from a seat in the front. It's a pretty small area in the front of this now that you realize vehicle, but it's large enough that probably the 4 of you could fit if Merrick does come up as well. But that's about it. And it's pretty much the one control seat, which is probably large enough for a person, but it's definitely tighter for a person, and then kind of the area behind it.
Sol would stop at the top of the ladder and just be like, "Morning, permission to enter?"
She just smiled and say, yeah, come on up. And Zuvki's just laughing on, yeah, as the crawler moves through the desert. You can tell the legs are actually able to move it fairly quickly. Like you're definitely like, I'd say you're moving kind of like more of a sort of lizard style creature would, kind of just moving around at a fairly decent clip.
Sol just sort of looks over to the Jawa and is like, "This is way more amazing than I even thought."
And he goes, "That's real sandcrawler." That's the best you can kind of tell. It's like he's trying to speak in basic, but that's the best you can do.
The best sandcrawler on Tatooine.
But yeah, and you see Ray kind of, she smiles at him, but kind of puts, kind of crosses her arms and kind of hugs herself slightly, and just keeps sort of looking out the viewport, going, something feels wrong.
You should trust that feeling. Reach out to it. Perhaps you can see more.
What does that mean?
Just intuition. I have a feeling that you could be like me, more in tune to surroundings. sometimes feel more than you think you should, know things you shouldn't, body react without you telling it to.
Well, I knew I really should check out that last signal and found you.
Again, very grateful. If you would humor me, could you close your eyes?
She kind of
He stays where he's at. He's not getting closer when he says it. He's not trying to be too creepy.
and she just kind of said, "Okay."
Is there any like rag, like dirty rag or anything that's like laying around?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah, he's gonna like wad it up and sort of like toss it at her face, like to see if she can react to it.
Oh dear. Yeah, let's give that a whirl. Me. Well, slap as the rag just hits her square on it. She's like, "Hey, hey!" She like,
I'm so sorry. You're supposed to catch it.
she like
Merrick will burst out laughing.
she throws it back at you.
I mean, we use remotes that shoot at us, so I thought this might be better.
Yes, my companion here is well-meaning, but didn't pay much attention at the academy.
Academy.
Yes, for people like us? Question mark.
I'm not anything special.
I get the feeling that you are too hard on yourself.
And she kind of points out the viewport and says, "We're not too far. That's Espa." We're lucky they're not holding any races today. We'd be right on the track.
I think this thing would make a good go of it.
Pod racers?
I don't know what that is.
You had me at racing.
Sometimes we watch if there's a race when we're not working. You just hear Zuki saying, "We work a lot."
Yeah, but at least you get to drive around in this thing. This is awesome. How did you guys build this yourself?
Zuki did. It was before I knew him. He's been around a bit. He's from here, but he kind of went out in a way, and I guess he came back with this. And we help each other. But well, he helps me. He doesn't need me.
We all need each other in this galaxy. It's a large place, and people try to corrupt and destroy it. We gotta hold on to the people we have even if they are irritating. And Sol just turns to Merrick.
Pot, kettle black.
Always comes down to drinks with you.
And yeah, well, it's just he helps me with my food and my droid, and I help him get enough extra parts to cover it.
But you always have a good feeling of where to find those parts.
Yeah, I wait till the day after a race. She kind of gives you a weird look before leaning back.
I know you don't know what Jedi are or who they are, but we're very well respected in the universe. Which means you can believe me when I say that the Force brought us here for a reason.
Okay. Don't really understand any of that, but okay.
Just like that feeling that led you to us, you need to be more in tune and really focus on those. They could save your life and lead you to a great path if you let it.
Don't think there's any great paths for me here. And she kind of resettles her stuff as you hear sort of a loud clang that sounds like it comes from the top of the crawler.
Does Tatooine have birds?
Not particularly. And you hear a second clang.
Is there like a roof hatch I can pop my head out of?
Yeah, and she kind of looks up above you, kind of basically along the same wall as the ladder that got you up there. You just have to like climb like about one step and open it.
Okay, I'm just gonna draw out my blaster just in case.
Yeah, there might be some debris moving around from that sandstorm.
And
Well,
she kind of gives an indication of maybe, and kind of because she kind of motions toward the fact that on one side of you is a ridge. Might have just been some falling rocks.
if I open it and get sandblasted in the face, then we know what it is.
I will act surprised when you get hit in the face. Oh no, I didn't know Merrick would get hit in the face when he opened it.
Well, yeah, let's just open up this hatch and have a look here.
Okay. Can you give me a vigilance roll, Merrick?
I thought it was gonna be perception where he's always like, "I'll be on guard," and just body 2 feet from him. He just yells down, "We're all clear."
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Not bad.
Yeah, I don't know what I see, but I react to it damn quick.
Well, you react to it ever so slightly faster than it reacts to you. So as you open up the hatch, you see the two loud clangs were the sound of two people likely jumping from the ridge onto the crawler. And you see the man and woman that have been described to this point.
Okay. Do they? I mean, I know they've just jumped on the ship, so this might be a silly question, but do they appear hostile?
The best I could describe is they appear driven and are heading in your direction. They seem surprised at the hatch opening, but as soon as they see it open, they're coming for it.
Okay.
They aren't just hitching a ride, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, I'm going to tell them this walker is not a taxi. If you want to get to Mos Espa, you'll have to find your own transportation and pull the hatch closed.
To be fair, that's something American Soul would do if we were on the ridge. Be like, we gotta get to Espa. Like, hey, let's jump on that walker and just ride it.
Okay, so you've got some hitchhikers.
The man moves rather quickly as you start talking, and you close the hatch before he gets there, but you can hear pulling on the hatch. And yeah, Ray reacts rather quickly and starts to kind of stand up and Zufki kind of puts the controls forward as much as he can, and you feel the crawler kind of lurch forward even quicker.
Soul's gonna toss his blaster towards Ray and just be like, most accurate blaster in the galaxy.
She fumbles around with it a little bit, but you can tell she's handled a blaster, but probably not a pistol would be your best guess to her reaction.
Soul grab his
Well,
lightsaber
I can
hilt.
give her the ACP array gun, which coincidentally has a 4-arm grip and is perfect for tight spaces.
No, we'll go with her being handed the pistol. It's fine. It's accurate as hell.
She's like, we're like, oh, there's people. No, so there's just guns being thrown at her.
Well, yeah, you would also see Zufki like holding up his slug thrower.
Give him the go on the shotgun. It's intimidating as hell.
Yeah, but okay. So yeah, you hear pulling at the hatch before hearing a loud like the sound of what seems to be a loud ignition, very familiar to Soul, although he hasn't heard a lightsaber quite sound like that in a while. You hear a loud ignition, and you just see a blade poke right down from the ceiling where the hatch was. It's a bright golden lightsaber blade, and it just starts cutting along the lines of the hatch. And you just see Ray like fall backward almost onto Zufki.
Let's say as soon as I heard the ignition, I would yell at Merrick and just say, drop! Like this.
Yeah.
Could Soul would, because like they can't see, right? They're just seeing the blade going through from their perspective. Like we can't see each other. I'm gonna light my saber and try to push the blade like outwards, like create more friction. So I'm trying to like basically like parry it towards out, so they're not getting a straight line down.
All right.
Just to make it slower, I guess. So they're not getting a perfect cut.
Yeah, so what's your athletics then? We'll have him roll against it.
Alright, so without the force it'll be 1 red, 2 purple.
Well, the force can be setbacks. So how many?
So 2 setbacks.
Yep, so and the initial athletics. So what was the thing I was
1 red, 2 purple.
Okay.
So 1 red, 2 purple, 2 black.
Okay. He does, however, remove the black. Good to note still. And he's winning.
Very awkward as I'm trying to like, pull up towards the hatch.
Yeah, so yeah, what you would basically be seeing right now is Sol like pushing his saber across and like trying to keep it from like moving, but it's so steadily moving still that he's just like, you're giving it your all, but whatever.
Sol just be like, they're eventually gonna get through. Merrick, take Ray down to Uncle and get in a defensive position.
Yeah, you just hear Zufki going, what? Like,
Where is our pirate friends?
they'd be down below.
Okay, I did I get the pirate boss's name? I mean, we were talking for a while before we fell asleep.
Probably not, if you want to nickname him something.
Stan the pirate.
No, I'm gonna shut down Boss Man.
Okay.
Hey, Boss Man, got some intruders on the ship. You wanna lend us a blaster?
You get kind of a sure kind of sound.
Okay. Ray, how fast can that sled go if it needs to?
And she's kind of looking out. Not as fast as the crawler. Maybe downhill, but not.
Okay. I really don't like the idea of having a gunfight inside this tight, confined space.
Hurry up the planning. It's like
Yeah, it's the saber is like halfway around. So
like
still
moving
trying.
it's like moving his shoulder out of the way so it's not like cutting through it as it's angling towards him now.
Be the perfect time if you have the lightsaber with like the longer blade to jam it in as well and try to cut their lightsaber.
Okay, they're going to get in quickly. Can we bust open the hatch and go up onto the roof?
I mean, yeah, but you could just, you probably will surprise them.
Yeah. Like, I don't think we can win this fight. We're both pretty banged up. But if we can get them off of the walker, maybe it can just run away.
Either way, it still gets us. The walker's still moving towards the city, so at least it gets us closer to there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Right
say
now-
Sol would be able to at least use his like saber in such a way to keep them from getting hit by the cutting through one if they wanted to try to climb up.
Like, if we time it right, I could at least like pen it to where they can just jump out real quick.
Yeah. Depends on what you want to do.
I mean, I'm all for plan.
Bust through the roof, shoot them.
I'd rather us get hit than our new friends and let them try to drive towards the city, like while we're doing it.
Okay. So I get the impression Ray's not much of a fighter, is she?
Not tier. She at least isn't familiar with a blaster pistol. That's about the impression you get, and probably if she's had to fight, probably has had to fight like small animals and stuff. But hard for you to tell with how little you've known her.
All right.
Either way, probably as infrequently as us, given that she's just scavenging.
Okay. I'm thinking if Ray goes downstairs with the boss man and the lieutenant, they can just run out the back. Worst comes to worst on the sled. We'll provide cover for Zufki if that all goes bad, and we'll jump up on the roof through the hatch, try and surprise him, kick him off the walker.
All right.
Sounds good. And Sol's gonna look at Ray and just sort of smile and just say, "Trust your instincts."
She nods.
Count of 3, Merrick.
Yeah, who's going up first?
On free or after free?
2, and then Sol goes.
All right. So you do kind of a half movement and kick up through the panel, kind of flipping up onto it. The man was the one cutting with the gold saber and is kind of knocked away as you do this, mostly out of surprise, but is quick to recover back into a standing position. The woman kind of grabbing his shoulder to make sure he doesn't like fall off the top of the crawler as he does. You're able to quickly kind of get out, Sol, and then I assume Merrick is right behind.
Yep.
Sol's just gonna look at them and just say, "I may not be a Jedi Master, but I will surprise you." And just sort of holds the saber out in front of him.
Yeah, and in kind of in a stance that you don't really recognize, but like it feels like an appropriate stance to hold a saber, but you don't really recognize it immediately. You just see him kind of. I wondered when we would meet. And he kind of moves the saber a bit, kind of in front of himself defensively, like he's trying to figure out, like, who is the more offensive of the two of you.
Sol just looks at him like, "That's very interesting. I've not thought of you at all."
Ray's going to feel a small moment of pride there, that he's actually weighed up as a contender against the Jedi. Like, still got it.
You are Skywalker.
Sol just nods.
And he looks kind of aggressively at you. As best as you can tell anyway, with like more of stance than face, since you can't see it. The saber, when it kind of passes by his helmet, kind of lights it up a little bit, and like I said, kind of it's a silver and red kind of colored helmet. Very scratched up and damaged. Looks like it was once something else and kind of repaired into what it is now.
Sol just looks at him and is like, "If you know who I am, then you know not to underestimate my family."
Long has the galaxy underestimated mine.
Then please introduce yourself.
You see the woman kind of stand and kind of take a step back to give more room and grabs the saber staff from her back and spins it, activating it. One blade and then the other, it being kind of a light blue color. And he moves into an attack position with the gold lightsaber and says, "I am the Revenant," and then sprints forward toward you and takes a slash toward your lightsaber, meeting it. And that's where we'll end the session. So, woo! Thanks everybody for our session 1 here. Everyone listening in and joining in, and we will try to start a little sooner next week. This week we were just had a few little technical things to work out because first session and all that. But yeah, next week we'll be on a lot sooner, and generally speaking, this is around when we'll end each week, but sometimes we'll go a little longer. But yeah, so thanks for listening in and joining us, either live or watching stream afterward. Please follow or subscribe, and feel free to leave comments or to chat during the live stream and future ones. And yeah, excited to see you next week. Excited to see how the adventure unfolds.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.